Welcome back to the show. Well, we could always go for a good laugh. My goodness, nothing I like more than a great comedy night. Stand-up comedy is one of my favorite things to do. And there's a fantastic comedy tour coming to Ottawa. Here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Daniel Woodrow, comedian and co-founder of the Unknown Comedy Club. How are you, Daniel?
I'm good. I'm tired. Lots of stuff, trying to plan the logistics of a tour and perform on the tour at the same time and do these interviews. But I'm having a good time.
Yeah, you've had a busy day of interviews so far, and I understand you're off to London in just a few minutes, right?
Yeah. When I get done this, I'm going to take a quick shower and then I'm going to head over to London. And we have a show tonight with a couple comedians of the crew for Fanshawe College, so that should be pretty fun.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to having you here in Ottawa, but let's talk first of all a little bit about your background. Tell me a little bit about how you got into comedy. What was your inspiration?
I think I always, I didn't really know about stand-up comedy when I was a kid, of course, but I wanted to be an actor, and I would make, when I was a little kid, I had a tape recorder and I would make a radio show where I'd play the one part and then I'd press pause, change my voice, press record, do the other voice talking back. And then it would be a podcast with myself. And I would make these videos when I had a camcorder of me, and then I would change and then do the same concept where I play two characters, which is now very popular on the internet, which is unfortunate that I didn't have those resources at the time.
No kidding.
Well, I would be cringing now. So that kind of was I was always interested in comedy that way. But I do remember when, I forget what it's called, in high school when you don't have the class, I think it's called spare or whatever.
Yeah.
I was sitting with some students. I was never really the cool kid or whatever. I was all right. I skateboarded, so I had a little bit of cool factor.
Okay, yeah, had some coolness. Yeah,
popular kid. Yeah, coolish. They're cooler now.
Yeah.
But I remember just cracking a joke about a story, kind of something that happened to me. But now I realize it was similar to the format of how a joke is written. And I remember that's the first time I made a group of people laugh. And obviously I felt good. I got my powers. I was ah! And so then I had to chase the addiction from there.
Amazing.
That was pretty much, that was the first time I was oh, maybe there is a thing here. And then I kind of got more into comedy from there and then finally tried it.
Excellent. And then from there you decided to do this tour. Tell me about the idea behind this tour, because as I understand it, you were the first black comedy tour in the entire country, right?
Yeah, it started in 2012. So, at that time there has been nothing, and I'm not aware of if there's been one in Canada since besides ours. But it's been awesome. I'm just happy that we can do it, and it's really fun for just touring. Is just some of the funnest parts of actually doing comedy, being able to be with the crew of your friends, traveling, staying in hotels together, having meals together, doing shows, going out for drinks. It's the rewards, and then you come home with some money. And it's not quite as fun when you're planning the logistics of everything, but
right.
I catch a nap when I can. But it's I think it's really good. It's important because we just like to showcase how good the black talent is in Canada and bring them to communities and places that might not necessarily have a lot of diverse comedy or even experiences with comedy. Some of the places we've been, I don't know if they've even had comedy shows before.
Right,
so.
Right. What are sort of some of the themes that you speak on during your stand-up?
Well, I have a lot. I have a lot of trauma. So no, I was I was homeschooled from kindergarten to grade 7. So
right.
I was raised by white parents. I grew up in Ottawa. There's lots to talk about. So I think, I don't know, I just kind of talk about that, just about things that maybe annoy me, or just from my perspective. I kind of like to tell jokes about where everyone in the room's oh, that happens to me too. And then it's kind of that moment where people realize it doesn't just happen to them.
What do you think about Ottawa? What was it like growing up in Ottawa? How would you describe it to people outside of the city? How would you describe your childhood?
This is an Ottawa broadcast, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was excellent. It's such a beautiful city. I mean, come on. Why would you?
Well played.
I think it actually... I honestly think it was a great place to grow up. I love the access to outdoors. and like just like a lot more open spaces, and I was biking around a lot more. I mean, I've lived in the outskirts of the city as well, and I really enjoyed that. I think it's like when it came to me performing and being able to do more shows, especially at the time when I was starting, there was just about a couple amateur nights and maybe one open mic. So you could do like a couple shows a month. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it was just purely about doing spots. And I mean, I guess just, I think that was my way of just branching out on my own as well. So
tell me about some of the other comedians that are going to be performing.
Yeah. So we're bringing the whole crew to Ottawa. We have like, Rodney Ramsey, who is the co-producer of the tour as well. He's going to be there. We have Tamara Siobhan, who is new to the tour this year. She did our tour last year when it was virtual. We did it online. She's a very funny comedian. We have George Rivard, who's a comedian who was raised in the Yukon, who's born in the Yukon. We have Keisha Brownie, who's been on the tour every year with us since the start. We love having her on tour. We have Kevin Christopher, who's a new addition to the tour this year as well. And Alan Shane Lewis, he's the host of the Great Canadian Baking Show. I think that's the name.
Yeah.
And he's on as well, and we're all good friends. Like we all hang out, in Toronto or in the cities we're doing shows together. So it's really fun for us to be together as a group, and we all have a diverse story, diverse backgrounds. So when you watch us all in a show, it's like a whole picture of kind of like the diversity of Canada.
I love it. I love it. Tickets are available where, Daniel?
You can get them at comedyrailroad.com or also the NAC's website. They're up there. And from what I know, there's still some left, but I definitely expect it to be sold out. So
awesome.
Don't take too long.
All right. Looking forward to it. Again, I'll remind everybody at home as I say goodbye. NAC 4 stage, February 20th. That is at 8:30 p.m. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.